Hey everybody, how are we doing? Welcome back to another week. This is number 7 on Interview. 7. Crazy. I managed to find one more friend in my life. But this week we've got a big YouTube person this week. Okay, this week we've got NikachuMTG, Mr. Fishman himself. Welcome to the interview, my friend. How are you?
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I'm doing great. I'm having a great time sitting in quarantine.
How is quarantine going for you?
Almost perfectly. I mean, truth be told, my life didn't really change all that much. Just now, instead of sometimes going outside, I just never go outside anymore. So unless there's for bare necessities.
That's the good thing about being a content creator, right? Like we're like, oh no, we have to stay inside. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
then
Oh
sure.
no, we have to stay inside and play games. Oh, what are we gonna do?
Exactly.
Everyone else in the world stay inside and play games still.
Everyone's falling apart, going, "Oh, I really need to go outside. I really need to get drunk," and we're just like, "Yeah, cool, sweet, cast Fortsies." And like, you know, what I mean, no one can. Not that you cast Fortsies.
We've been prepared our entire lives for this moment.
Exactly, and it's going well for us. So everything's gonna be slightly different to what the normal questions we ask, because you don't have a Twitch stream right now. You're gonna get a Twitch stream though. You told me.
I have something like 39 followers on Twitch, and I have not streamed a single thing from there. I have nothing.
That's better than some people that start on Twitch. You know what I mean? You're already pretty much affiliate.
I don't know, but yeah, we're gonna get into the Twitch streaming. I never had a computer. Well, maybe I could have gotten to Twitch streaming earlier, but it looked grossly complex in terms of setting up. So I'm like, doing what the hell with this? I have enough on my plate with YouTube. But now that I feel like I have more or less mastered what I need to with YouTube, let's start moving into the other streaming or the other content category with Twitch.
You do, as I say, you're literally the biggest YouTube person I've had on. You have 12.2 thousand subs on YouTube.
Thousands.
Yes. That's a lot. I've got like 400 people that might watch this video. You know what I mean?
And not only that, like what's interesting in the YouTube stats is they say basically only 50 to 55% of the viewership are subs. So you can almost double your you can assume your viewership is double to your subs just because people might like the content, but they just don't want to sub for it. They just want to go and check it out when they feel like seeing it.
Well, either way, you're killing it. It's that simple, right? But there's a good formula for it, and you found it, and it's working for you. That's not any of my questions yet. It'll probably come up in a minute, and we'll be like, "Oh, we spoke about it." So let's start off with the questions. The first question is, when did you start making YouTube videos, and why?
So I started, I believe, just a little bit before the end of 2014. Because I remember I just started a YouTube channel just before I started playing Modern Merfolk in my first Grand Prix, and it was that I believe that was in 2004, near the end of 2014. And I started the YouTube channel because I was just interested in YouTube. I like the idea of making videos. I love content. I love the idea of content creation. I love the camera. The camera loves me. So like I'm very much interested in, you know, this sort of medium where you can make anything you want and you can post it on the internet, and it's free. It's free, people. You don't pay anything to be on YouTube. Other people don't pay anything to be on YouTube. It's
there 24 hours a day. Doesn't matter where in the world they are, they can watch it.
Exactly. It's very, very accessible. And so long as you're not too picky with your setup, I mean, almost anyone can get into it. So long as, like, a lot of people talk to me about like, oh, you know, I can't really get into YouTube. I don't have a special camera. I don't have the lighting. I don't have this and that. Truth be told, all you really need is your camera. Like if you have like any sort of smartphone that can take any sort of video, boom, you've got your video making machine right there. It'll capture your face. It'll capture your audio. You can upload from there. If you're not picky about editing, you don't need to edit it, and you just go straight up. So pending this situation, basically anyone can be a YouTuber. So I just love the concept of YouTube, and basically like anyone can make it, you know? So like so long as you have something of value to the viewers, basically anyone can enter, and then, you know, potentially the sky's the limit. You could have 100 million subs one day.
How did you decide I want to be the sole person on the internet that tells people about Merfolk? Why, out of all decks in Modern, did you go, I'm going to be that fucking Merfolk guy. I'm not only going to be the Merfolk guy, I'm going to fucking kill it and be the only Merfolk guy. I'm going to be you're like Aquaman in Magic, basically.
Right, exactly. Now, the idea was I wanted to get into YouTube, but I wasn't sure what my topic was going to be. And previously, I played poker competitively, and also I'm a chess master. So I thought maybe somewhere down the line, I will actually make a YouTube channel out of one of these other topics. So, but I'm making the YouTube channel. What am I doing right now? What am I doing like right this second, right this minute? I was playing Modern Merfolk. And not only that, I was playing Modern Merfolk at a time that it was considered a complete scrub tier 2, tier 3 deck. It had a very large community, but virtually no competitive players behind it, like explaining how to take this particular archetype at a competitive level. When I knew that there was something very golden about this archetype, and I had a lot to provide the community at that time to show, hey, even the community itself, they loved Merfolk, but they didn't have any faith that this was like a tournament winning deck. They didn't think that they could like win prizes or win tournaments, win big events with Merfolk. And I said, wait up a second. No, it's possible, and I'm going to show you how it's done. And it was a radically different approach in terms of the way you build the deck, the way you sideboard, the way you strategize against all the other archetypes, and just the fundamental philosophy behind Merfolk. Like a lot of people a long time ago, they took Merfolk like it was only an aggro deck, somewhere between aggro and tempo. And especially a long time ago, I said, no. It's more of a control / mid-range deck. It's just played with creatures. So I had a lot to provide in this YouTube channel. And I also had quite a big of a community already online. The Merfolk community was quite large on MTG Salvation at the time. So I decided, okay, I'm going to make this channel and I'm going to make the videos for these people. And then I immediately overnight got like 80 subscribers because there was a pretty big need for my content. And I just slowly grew from there.
When you were going about, so you're like, no, this can be a winning deck. Do you know that you actually have 3 pages of top tournament results on MTG Goldfish? If so, you type your name in MTG Goldfish, you've got 3 pages of you either like 7-0 in challenges, 5-0 in leagues, you know, like everything. And that's not just in Modern, that's in Legacy. I think there's Standard on there as well, I saw at some point. Like, you've got 3 pages.
That was Mono Blue Devotion, predating my Modern career. But yeah, I'm a competitive player. I am a legitimately razor sharp competitive player. My restriction is that I have to play Merfolk in Modern, but I genuinely believe that this is a competitive deck, and I have results to back it up.
How much work did Force of Negation do for Merfolk?
A lot.
I think that's what made that in the recent years, or what, last year was it? It got printed that one card just went so easy into Merfolk, and you were just like, I remember I think I was playing Hogak at the time or something like that, and I went, oh, I've won here, yeah, cast Altar, and someone just went, yeah, Force of Negation. I went, you what? Sorry, what? You're playing Merfolk. You're not gonna have, you know what I mean? You're not gonna have this sort of counter spell. And they're like, yeah, and then they beat me down, and yeah, carry on. But I feel like that. Do you think that's the most important card that Merfolk has gained? You've probably got a video on this. Do you think that's the most important card it's gained in the last year?
It's one of the top 3 cards that have changed a lot in Merfolk. It's possible. It's close. One card that also changed a lot was Brazen Borrower, because no matter what, Merfolk gets killed off by Ensnaring Bridge. If our opponent plays Ensnaring Bridge, we lose because we actually can't beat that card. So therefore, we need a way to bounce a permanent. But a card like Echoing Truth is not very flexible against other decks. The problem with Echoing Truth is it has only one purpose, and that is to bounce an Ensnaring Bridge. And it's card. More or less. It's a very narrow sideboard card. Whereas Brazen Borrower, all right, now we've got our answer to Ensnaring Bridge, and this actually happens to be like a really good threat to double duty, as double duty. And it's not a Merfolk, which people assumed was going to be a bad thing, but it's a good thing because Plague Engineer came out and put a really big hurt on Merfolk as well. So okay, you can name Merfolk with Plague Engineer, just going to play this Brazen Borrower and just fly right over you. And I've killed many Plague Engineers. My opponent can have 2 Plague Engineers in play, and I just fly over them with this Brazen Borrower and kill them. Force of Negation did help us a lot in some. It did help us a lot in a lot of matchups, because there's a lot of matchups where we would like to just race. We'd like to tap out, but traditionally Merfolk could never. We'd have to hold up mana for counterspells. We got the counterspells, but at some point we gotta slow down, hold up the mana for counterspells, not apply anything more to the board. Force of Negation now lets us freely just empty our hand against some archetypes like Tron and certain combo decks. Certainly it helps a lot. Probably Merfolk would have a bad matchup against Neoform, or it would be awkward, more awkward.
I feel like you just mull till you get Force of Negation. Like that's a big bugbear at the minute, Neoform, right? At the minute it's playing havoc on Modern, I feel. And personally, I'm not one to throw like, oh, everything should get banned in the world, but that deck should probably not be in Modern, in my opinion. I think it's too. There's no magic.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous too.
You know,
yeah. It's,
so that's how you got into it, basically, right? We're kind of diversing off the question. So you got into YouTube because you were like, I want to get into YouTube, I want to do something with it. And at the time you were playing Merfolk, and you were like, I've got a different approach to Merfolk. This is how we should be playing it, and it's obviously working fucking wonders for you because your channel's going off and you got all these tournament results, and yeah, it's going good. So okay, how did you come up with your username?
My username, I've had this username for forever, since I was like 13 years old. And so, I mean, when I was like, I don't know how old, 10, 11, 12, I used to play the Pokemon trading card game. So, but also, you know, I'm a little creative. If you've seen, I got like bunnies and stuff, you know, I designed my own shirts. So, you know, I like to draw a lot when I was a kid. So I designed this neon green glowing Pikachu card, because everyone, you know, makes their own Pokemon card. A lot of people like to make their own Magic cards online. So I make my own neon green glowing Pikachu. It's got some sort of superpower, and I called it Nikachu. And I shelved it away with like many other things that I made as a kid. But one day I had to have a username for the internet. And I was thinking, you know, okay, of everything that I made, what should my username be? It was very important because at the time, there's like a lot of people that like Skaterman 1983 and whatever. There's a lot of rubbish usernames on the internet. I want something really defining and unique. So I went with Nikachu. It's simple, it's clean, it sounds better than Pikachu, and then that's just how it is.
Bold claim, sounds better than Pikachu. It does roll off the tongue very well, though. And once you hear
yes, it rolls very well, and it's very memorable. It was very important to me. It has to sound memorable.
Well,
I got a lot of flack back then that it sounded too similar to Pikachu, but like as time went on, and as more like, I don't know, Japanese stuff entered culture, people don't make that clear assumption anymore.
No, it's sweet. Also, I didn't know that you drew all that. That's all you. In your
That's
logo.
all me. Yes, I'm a man of
many talents.
Many talents. That's right.
It looks sweet.
Used to draw a lot when I was a kid.
Okay. How do you make all this content? You literally make do you make a video at the minute you're doing a video a day? Have you always done a video a day, or have you always tried to? How have you done the schedule, and how do you balance that with your work / everyday life? Like, how do you fit all this in, and how I'm not going insane?
Yeah. I understand. So when I was, how did I learn YouTube? I don't know if I learned YouTube so well. I think I decided to start off with making a league a week, but I would separate it into 5 individual matches, like 5 individual rounds. And I just sort of went with it. Oh, I think I did a little research on YouTube, and they said like, you either make a lot of garbage at once, or you make like one good video once every so often, like once every 2 weeks or once every week. And I decided to take the strategy, we're going to make a lot of garbage and we're going to make it very often. Even though it's not that hard if you are a Magic the Gathering player, because if you play one league and you separate the videos out into 5 different videos, you piece it out over the week, and you're giving people content almost every single day. And truth be told, like, most people can't digest like a 2 to 3 hour full league video, especially when you're pulling out new content. And I also like the approach of just throwing out tons of garbage every single day. Like it's really rough stuff, whatever. It's me and my commentary. Like it's not the most super beautiful video, but it's still valuable. I'm still going over my thought process. I'm still teaching you how to play Merfolk. But the good thing is that you make people a part of your daily routine, which is what I liked. If you put out something once every 2 weeks, it may or may not come out, or people aren't used to coming back to your channel. Whereas if I come out with something every day, or almost every day, it was like every weekday, I am making people's behavior come back, come back. Something new is going to come from Nikachu, something new, something new. And I wanted to maintain that. And at some point I was starting to make like 1.5 to 2 videos a day, depending how much time I have, because I just need to play one league, split it off into 5 videos, and then in addition to that, I can throw up opinionated videos or sideboard guide videos, or whatever, with extra content in addition to that. Now, where do you find the time for this? Is the master question a lot of content creators would ask themselves. And the brutal truth is you're going to have to say goodbye to something else that you're already doing. Like if you already have a full plate in your life and you really want to get into content creation, it is going to take time and it is going to take work. And the content creators that really succeed, they like the work and they like the time that they put into it. So you're going to end up having to cut something else out because that's the only way you can fill it up with YouTube. Like YouTube, and it's like Magic is a hobby, but in some other way, you could say YouTube is like a second hobby in addition to that, because I'm sure once you start learning about editing, you realize how ridiculously time-consuming this starts to get.
There's a reason why these are only an hour long, because I've learned editing. It takes me like 5 hours to edit an hour video. I'm like, so
Yeah, exactly. If you want to put in that time, and that there can be other strategies around that. Like,
I'm sure I'll do it the long way.
Yeah, well, you could do it the long way, or you can just like throw it up. Because I've had some interviews before, and I'm like, I could put in nice fancy stuff, but like I want to put more effort into more and other content, so I just throw the interview up. Well, there is some editing, like I throw the
logos
my
in there,
interviewees like contact information. I put that in there. So you're going to have to gut something, whatever was one of your hobbies or something. You have to gut it, because you are going to take a lot of time. So you just have to be prepared to know, like, this is time consuming. It's a lot of work. And because of that, I have to reiterate to a lot of people, if there are content creators that you like or that you love and are part of your daily life, you really should try to financially support them, because when push comes to shove, like, the content creator will have to stop making content if they really have to start paying the bills. There's a lot of situations where I'm sorry, everyone, I don't have time for this. But if they were super financially supported, they realize, well, this is my job. This actually is part of my income. I will go out of my way to keep this train running. And then like that. And one tip I would have to a lot of content creators is, no, don't think about the money right now, but eventually, some point somewhere down the line, you should try to figure out how to monetize yourself, because it is good for both sides that the content keeps flowing. But where do you find the time? Like, I definitely played less Magic. It cut into my Magic time.
I was about to say, what did you cut out then? So you say that you've got to sacrifice something. What did you sacrifice?
I was playing chess pretty competitively up until then, and I was also playing way more Magic. Like, I would play double or triple the amount of time playing Magic, and then some chunk of time, like, I could play a league in 2.5. I could play a league in about 2 hours, and now I'm not playing that league anymore because I am editing or uploading, something to that nature. So I would say it ate into some of my Magic time, and then just ate into whatever other time. I would say over time, as I've gotten better and better at this, I learned better time management. Like, right now, I'm rendering video in the background, in my computer room. So I'm trying to make the most out of every single second in my life, because it matters. If I want to get the most, I got to realize, okay, what can I do now and do something else
It's
simultaneously.
almost like being self-employed, right? Like if you're self-employed,
Yes.
you decide I'm going to take the day off, you're not going to progress anywhere. You're not going to make any money that way. Same with content creator. If you go, I can't be asked to edit today, or I can't be asked to film this or whatever like that. That's a day without content. And I say, if you go into a routine where everyone's thinking you're going to get content up every day, and they're going to come back and be like, "Oh, where is it? What? Oh, okay. Well, this is another video I like, so I'll watch this." And then they tear off. Same with Twitch streamers. Is when I interview like all the Twitch streamers I've interviewed, consistency is absolutely key in things. You've got to make it so you're like an everyday thing in someone's life. They know when they get to work, if they log on Twitch, you're going to be streaming. They know when they get home and they have dinner, you're going to, there's going to be a YouTube video there for them to watch. Like I watch most of my, when I watch most content is when I'm going to bed. I will fall asleep watching, not because they're boring, but I'll put on YouTube videos or something like that, and that will put me to sleep. And I'm like, and then I don't know, dream of whatever.
We're actually in the same boat on some of that. There are some like podcasts that I listen to that I will try to pay attention to it while my eyes are closed, but I know I'm going to fall asleep through it, and I don't mind if I do that. So it's like my napping podcast that I like listening to. But you struck something that's very important, and I do encourage all content creators, if you're serious about this, if you're very serious about this, learn about this. Learn about entrepreneurship, because we are legitimately entrepreneurs. That's basically what we are. If you can learn entrepreneurship, you'll get a better idea what it's like to be a content creator. And right now, to some degree, it is competitive. Like, it's brutally competitive. There's a lot of people who want to do this. So you do have to go. You either need to, first off, no matter what, you have to take an intelligent approach to content creation. There's no other way around it. You have to be very smart. This is not like the golden age of just throw anything up there and people are going to watch. Now you're buried underneath like millions of other.
It's a massive pond, right? Massive pond. Unless you've got a big name, unless you've won a Pro Tour or you're an SCG star or a Hall of Famer, it's very hard to make a name for yourself. But
even then, like, you can have that name and it still may not do any good for you if you're not going to be consistent with your content and take content creation like smart. Like, they might have a good start, but that doesn't mean they're going to.
Yeah, that's what I know. So a lot of things with do you know when the MPL started, Wizards are going to fucking. This is why I can never be on the MPL, because I smash Wizards too much. When the MPL started and they written the content in the contract that they all had to stream, I reckon probably was it 32, 64 of them, maybe 10. Being nice, 20 of them can actually stream, hold a conversation, and be entertaining.
Yeah,
the rest are just like, well, I'm getting paid either way, so it doesn't. I'm just gonna sit here.
Yeah. It's just part of the contract.
Yeah, that's it. I'm getting paid. It doesn't matter. This is way my contract. I'm gonna do it. I don't need to be entertaining. And some of them have stuck around, and other of them have to fall off. And it's done it so much that Wizards have literally gone, tell you what, let's take that bit out of the contract now. We're not going to force you all to make content anymore.
So Wizards, give me the contract. Give it to me.
For you get, and that's, one thing on Merfolk is one of those tribes that are always going to get more cards. Like,
well, I hope. I mean, assuming they keep printing cards for blue, like Enforced Negation wasn't a Merfolk.
It wasn't a Merfolk card, no, but.
And Brazen Bar was not a Merfolk, but it helped a lot. Waterlog Grove and Fiery Islet, which could be utilized by Merfolk, because it was a first time that we can turn lands into cards. Those also were played by Merfolk, so they still give us cards. But the problem is they're so nitpicky about giving us like good Merfolk cards. I don't know, the last good Merfolk card was like Merfolk Trickster, and that was like 2 years ago.
That card's so annoying to play against. When Merfolk have two-man up and you're like, I'll attack with my Tarmogoyf, and they're like, no, fuck you. And you're like, all right, cool, I'll just... Yeah. Like, it's so annoying to play around. It's like, ugh.
So, like, in theory, they could print... Like, they're constantly printing Merfolk, but it's like a gamble whether it's competitive for
if
the
it's
deck.
good enough.
Because Modern's hostile.
They're always going to print Merfolk. They're always going to print humans. They're always going to print... I feel like I want more slivers. That's what I want more slivers. Like, that's my favorite tribe, slivers. But...
I thought they were going to reprint like the really good ones in Modern Horizons, like Crystalline Sliver and
all the ones that are in the Legacy deck.
Yes, I thought for sure, because it is a deck in Legacy. It has some presence, but it has like no presence in Modern and could really use Crystalline Sliver, and then it would be a real deck in Modern, just like Humans is. I thought for sure when they said this is going to be a tribal set, we're bringing back tribal, Sliver's going to be a thing. No slivers. In fact,
Nah.
no no Merfolk either.
They're too busy making fucking companions and Oko and fucking all this
Yeah,
other
that's
shit
right.
that they want to ban.
Urza.
Okay, next question.
Arkham's Astrolabe.
That fucking card, man. I swear to God. Okay, how did you get into Magic? Let's go with that one. Do people know how you got into
How do I
Magic?
get? Oh yeah, I remember. So my friends and I, we played the Pokemon trading card game, and at some point they're like growing out of it. They want to get into the adult card game. So they get into Magic the Gathering, and they're already starting to play a little bit. And they try to show me the game, and they give me they show me like how to block, and then they attack me with shadow creatures. They show me how to cast spells, and then they counter them. And they show me
bullied you, basically.
how to counter spells. Show me how to counter spells, and then they show me things like Scragnots, which are uncounterable. And I'm like, okay, well, to hell. Then the cards to me looked really ugly compared to Pokemon trading card game cards. The art's ugly. To hell with this game. Screw it. I'm not playing this game. So I continue to play in Pokemon tournaments, but my friends start playing in the real Magic tournaments. And one day after I come back, I'm coming home from a Pokemon tournament, and I have to go through a mall, which was hosting a Magic tournament. And lo and behold, there's this player who's playing with a mono blue permission deck, but they're playing with the Thieving Magpie. I don't know if you're familiar with this card, but it's blue, 2 generic. It's a 1/3 creature. It's from Urza's Destiny. Whenever it deals combat damage, you draw a card. But the point is, if you look at the Urza's Destiny art, it's gorgeous. It's this absolutely adorable magpie. Like, prior to just in recent history of like Wizards creating a lot more cute art, this was hands down the most cutest thing that existed in Magic, especially in its time period, and probably was still the cutest thing for another 15 years. I said, I'm going to make a deck out of this card. So I asked my friends, what does blue do? They said they counter things. So I made basically a mono blue permission deck. Eventually it added like Masticore and Morphling, but it had 4 Thieving Magpie in it to keep drawing cards to grind out all my opponents. And that's basically how I got into the game.
So randomly talking about magpies, do you own a foil Merfolk deck? Are you a magpie?
Oh, do I own
in real life?
Oh, yes, I absolutely own a foil Merfolk deck. I have also helped influence many other people to buy into foil Merfolk decks.
I've got a friend here in the UK that has a foil Merfolk deck as well.
Yeah, I have. The judges tell me, because they walk up and down the aisles nonstop, they said that the one archetype that's foiled out the most than any other archetype is Merfolk.
Fish. Still, I smell of fish.
And you're taking full credit for that.
Truly. Oh yeah, I have. Well, mine was foil Japanese Merfolk.
Ooh, what, the whole deck?
Unless there was no Japanese printings, like I had Masterpiece Ether Vials they're only in English.
Must be nice. The YouTube's going well, obviously, going really well there.
It's going well, but I have to admit, since Modern Horizons, I really shut down the foil Merfolk buying, because it was easy enough to foil out the deck when it's just mono blue. But then when they Waterlog Grove, okay, now we have a serious, and Collector Oof, we had a serious direction to go Simic. And if Fiery Islet, now there's actually a good direction to go blue-red. And I started realizing, oh my god, do I want to buy all the cards with all the green splash and all the red splash cards in foil? And also as I was increasing my YouTube, actually something that I guess I cut out a little bit more over time is, as I was YouTubing a lot more, I was going to the local game store a lot less. And so I realized me actually playing physically with my cards was happening a lot less. So the foils basically stopped at Modern Horizons. That's something I didn't realize. Yeah, I go to the big events, but I very infrequently go to a casual F&M. I still go once in a while, but not as frequently as I used to. 'Cause I used to binge. I went to every Modern event, every week, every local game store, or almost every local game store.
I wanted to know if you had foil Force of Negation. So really, that was the main thing. That card is expensive.
I never got there. I should have got it when it was released, though. But at that point, I was sort of I was having a hard enough time just finding normal Force of Negation. I was like, do I want it? Because if I get the foil Force of Negations, I got to get the Waterlog Groves and the Fiery Islets and the Collector Oof, and then what else do I have to get foil now?
And now companions are out, and now Merfolk want to splash black, and now you got to go black. And
yeah, that's right. Yeah, you
It's
got the black
craziness.
stuff, Dark Slick Shores.
You got videos on that and all the companion stuff, so we're not going to talk about it right now, but you do have videos on it, and you're going to be able to find all this stuff on your channel, which we'll talk about in a second. So that's how you got into Magic. You basically were a Pokemon player, and you made the transfer across because you saw a magpie. You were a magpie, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, well, obviously, you know Fran as well, right? Francesco. He's exactly the same. He played Pokemon
Yes.
and then went Pokemon to Magic. Okay, why? Okay, well, this is. I don't know why I left this question in. What's your favorite deck in Magic ever?
Oh yeah, it's Merfolk. So that's
Which
basically
version?
what
Let's go with
basically
a
I'm
year.
known
What
for.
year was your favorite year of having Merfolk?
That's a good question. Maybe 2004, the end of 2014. This was when like Modern was. Maybe there was some enjoyment in the fact that it was people were very inexperienced with Modern. Like there's a lot of new people getting into Modern. So I had the huge, and I was getting into Modern like somewhere mid 2014, but it was enough that I had like a big advantage over everybody else. And like it was at the time that Master of Waves was at its peak. This Merfolk that just floods the board with these elementals. Like this was an era where no one had an answer to Master of Waves. It looks stupid.
Everyone
like
was looking
for
at
4 mana,
Lightning
almost
Bolt going, fuck.
Yeah, it's exactly that. That and Terminate and Liliana the Veil doesn't do anything because they can only edict away like one random token, but they can't like edict the whole board. So this was like the height of Master of Waves, and genuinely like almost nothing sees play for 4 mana in Modern. Like the bar is like Splinter Twin and Cryptic Command and
Bloodbraid Elf.
I don't Bloodbraid Elf. No, I think it got banned at the time. I don't know when it got banned. I think it was I was around the time when I started getting into the game. They like banned Deathrite Shaman 2 weeks later, and then at some point they banned Bloodbraid Elf. But like the bar was set really high for what a 4-drop is, and this 4-drop enters the battlefield. It looks stupid and comes with like 12 tokens, and your opponent just becomes really sick. And then over time they printed more and more answers. So now there's a million answers to Master of Waves, so it's not the unstoppable force that it used to be. So but I would say 2014 Merfolk was where it was.
Nice. Actually, that's when I actually started playing Magic. I wasn't playing Modern then, but when I came back to Magic, so I did play Magic for years ago when I was a little kid, but when I came back to it, it was 2014 pre-release. I didn't know what a pre-release was. I just happened to turn up on a day of a pre-release and was like, okay, cool. And yeah, that's how I started. So that sort of eras when you were making content is when I was just starting to play Magic. Make you feel old.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, well I mean no, I started legitimately playing Magic around 1999. That's when I started. I took many breaks in between.
Oh yes, no one ever quits Magic. We always say that. No one ever quits Magic.
And that's the thing. When I got back around 2013-ish, I realized, okay, this is like the 3rd time I'm getting back into this game. I'm going to take it seriously from here. Because I realized when I got it, I was very good back in like 1999, 2000, because I net decked at a time that almost no one did. Like that was like in a golden era of net decking. You net deck, no one else is net decking. You just slaughter everybody. You crush them. It was hilarious. Like, I was the only one. I was basically the only player at my local game store or local game stores that I went to that was playing the deck that was clearly winning. Like, it had anywhere between 4 to 5 copies in the top 8, and no one else wanted to play this deck for some reason, for one reason or another. But then by 2013, like basically everyone is net decking. Everyone is also much smarter and very good at the game. I was getting completely outclassed, so I said, okay. Now we're going to take this seriously. We're going to learn how this game actually works, and get good at it.
Okay, and it's obviously working with 3 pages on Goldfish of top 2 results. So
yes, there you
go. Why? Next question is why should people watch you? I know. So just to put these numbers, I've got numbers in perspective. You've got 12.2 subs on YouTube. You got 2.6 thousand followers on Twitch. You got 1.8 followers on Facebook.
No, on Twitter.
Sorry, not Twitch. You'll probably get that number on Twitch. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
You'll probably go on there and it will spike off. And a lovely number to start your Patreon with. You have 234 patrons. 234 patrons.
If only I had 2,000.
Hey, keep going the way you're going. Why wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's enough people out there that like to smell like fish, I guess. So they're all going to be typing in the comments. Fucking wang.
So like if you want to learn how to play this deck competitively, and I have proven it competitively over every iteration of Modern. Like, people panic all the time as cards get banned, as cards get unbanned, as new cards enter the meta game. All sorts of archetypes put up fits, whether, you know, they're competitive or not. I don't care. I don't care, because the beauty of Merfolk is that it's really adaptable. So once the metagame fixes itself in place, I will design the 75 to make sure that it perfectly interacts with them and interacts the least with me. So I have found success in every single era of Modern, from like the Treasure Cruise era, the Splinter Twin era, the Gitaxian Probe era with like Infect and Death Shadow Zoo and Storm, from the Hogak era, and even this Lurrus meta, I'm very certain that I can pull up very good numbers and have very good results. So I've always had success no matter what the time period is. All my 5-0s come from like every single time period. I top 8'd. I don't know, you don't see that in the numbers because it's under my username, but I personally top 8'd Grand Prix Vancouver with Merfolk right before Death Shadow became a thing. I was actually the guy that lost in the finals when Death Shadow exploded in popularity, because like it won the tournament and then was now all over the map, because, oh my God, Death Shadow won a tournament and there was 3 copies in the top 8. So I'm very confident in being able to build this thing no matter what. But in addition to that, I'm like a pretty hardcore competitive player, and I can articulate my thought process really well, very, very well, because I need to with Merfolk. Merfolk's power level is nothing. We've got the worst win condition out of any deck in Modern. The worst. We don't have any reach with like Lightning Bolt. Our win condition is this. We play creatures. We hope they don't get countered. We have to attack with them, hope they don't get killed, hope they don't get blocked. We have to deal damage, and then we have to rinse and repeat that process until our opponent goes from 20 to 0 life. Like, that's our win condition. It is awful. So if I want to win with Merfolk, I have to leverage every single other advantage that we have with Magic the Gathering. I have to leverage to the maximum mulligan strategy. I have to leverage sideboarding. I have to leverage the like metagame prediction. I have to be really in tune with what's actually going on in Modern. There's a lot of powerful decks. They don't even care what's going on in Modern. They're going to do their thing, and they're going to adapt if people start adding sideboard cards for them. Me, I need to completely adapt to like the archetypes themselves being in existence. So I will take this game at a very competitive level, and people learn a lot from me over that. But also, a lot of people just seem to like my discussions about the game in general. I find there's like a lot of discourse that goes on in like Reddit and Twitter, and I find like a lot of the arguments are like, in my opinion, very empty. So I like to give my opinion to try to take it to a level deep enough that like, well, I just give my thoughts on the matter, and people really like it. So I'm going to continue to keep doing it.
Why when you're talking about that, like you've got like almost the worst win condition, and you've got to find ways to win. So you've got to adapt to the meta and that. So people that can watch you, realistically, they can see where you're coming from, but you're kind of doing all the work for them. You know what I mean? Like, that's another reason to watch you. Like, I've done all this work. I've tested it. I've done it. I've built it. There it is on a platter. You just need to take it and play with it, and you're going to win and you'll be successful with it. And what you're saying with, you've got to find that route to winning with it. I think, do you know, obviously you know Saffron Olive. Everyone knows who Saffron Olive is, right?
Yeah, we know.
When I think he did like a modern like team tournament, some tournament where he had to play by himself, and he actually started playing with real decks in this tournament, so to speak. So he does a lot of brews and a lot of, you know, like budget decks and stuff like that, and he still wins with them because he has to find lines with these budget decks to win. And then give him a real deck, and he was just crushing it. He wasn't losing. He was like, "Yep, Seth won again, Seth won again." They're like, "It's because he has to win with these not as powerful decks, and he still does it." He's a master.
He's sharpened his, how do I put it? Sharpened his skills on like really bad decks.
Yeah, and then gets over it. But that's not saying that Merfolk's a bad deck. You know, like right now, I actually think it's pretty good. I think Force Negation literally tipped it so far over the edge in like there isn't a. Is it a tier 2, tier 1? It's literally like, okay, it's like a massive weight pitting on there. I think that card's really good in that spin. But that's not what we're talking about. So that's why people should follow, and I fucking agree with you. Also, you've got a really good voice for YouTube. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that. The first thing.
Oh yeah, like I said, I love the camera. The camera loves me, and I'm good. I'm a pretty loud person, period. So I like to vocalize myself very well. I can fill the person at the end of the auditorium is going to be able to hear me. So it is I do have a good voice and a good personality for the video sort of medium.
It was the first thing I noticed when I watched your video when I went, and he was just like, "Hey everybody," like doing your intro, and I was like,
Yeah.
Fuck, okay. This guy's done this before. Okay, next question. But we've said about why should people watch you. What advice, we kind of spoke about it a little bit, but what advice do you give to others who want to start making a YouTube channel? Like, let's go throw it at me. So I've just started making a YouTube channel, hence why you're on it. Thanks for being on it. But, you know, I've got like 400 subs, which you're all fucking amazing. Thanks for watching this if you're watching it. But, so what advice would you give to me? I'm not new to content creation, but I'm slowly getting into, you know, the whole editing side of things. I've got a small YouTube. What's my next stage? What's hurdles have you come across that you go, look, well, you're going to hit this. This is what you need to do with it, or this is how to avoid it, or what advice would you give? Let's go. Help me out.
So,
come on, let's go.
So the core question here is, what are you making of value for your viewers? What's your core value proposition? What is it that you're going to do to serve them?
Having the best mustache in MTG. No, it's being.
That might be useful if you want to teach people how to make the mustache, but like that is the core question you have to ask yourself. Like, so if you look at myself, I'm going to teach you how to play Merfolk. If you want to play a tribal deck, I can teach you competitively. I'm an incredibly experienced player. I play it at a very high competitive level. I'm going to have very, very strong, solid winning sideboard guides that I use to get my own 5-0s, my own tournaments, make day 2 and top 8 of GPs. I will teach you how to play Magic. And you know what? For entertainment purposes, I'm also pretty funny and fun. And I'm also going to help motivate you. So I try to nail the value proposition on many different angles. So you first start sort of with that, and you may not know exactly what that is at first, but that would be a good start. What is it of value that you're going to provide your viewers?
Well, me, there's like this flip reverse. I'm like, oh my god, what did I say? I wish I never answered this question. I wasn't prepared for a follow-up question, but probably like I feel like it's like down to earth, my shit. Like I'm not. Everyone knows I'm not fake on anything. I'm not gonna, you know, make things look funny if I don't think they're funny. Like mainly when I'm editing these videos, especially like the interview series that I'm doing, I'm making myself laugh so much. So it's kind of like as long as I know I'm laughing, someone else out there with weird, like, you know, humor will also find it funny. And so far it's going well. People are really enjoying the videos, these sort of videos. When it comes to gameplay and stuff, most of my gameplay videos are from my stream, and streaming and playing at the same time is very hard. I keep saying this to everyone. Like I play so much better off stream than I do on. So I'm now kind of doing. I'm stepping away from Twitch a little bit. Like I used to do 5 days a week. I'm now going to do 3 days a week, I think, and do the other 2 days. I'm going to record off stream, play better. Because, you know, it's hard doing like 6 things at once while you're playing, and then you got chat with 1,000 eyes telling you did something wrong, and you're like, oh my god, did I do that wrong? And you're like, they could also be wrong, even though chat are never wrong. So I'm basically, I don't know what I'm doing. I just throwing a lot of, what do you say, garbage? We call it rubbish in the UK. A lot of rubbish. I throw a lot of it out there, and I'm just trying to be like real, and I try to be funny, but I've always had, we got a saying in the Marines, if you're not funny, don't try and be funny. So I don't know if I'm funny.
So your personality is great, and you are real. Now the question is, how does that translate to value in my life? That's the that's the situation. So there are different ways of becoming valuable to your viewer, and I try to nail a lot of these. But one is you can be educational. So you have something that you know that other people don't, and you want to share it with them to help better their life. Another way is you can give them instruction. You know, there's all sorts of like instructional videos. Hey, if you have a problem with this, I'll show you step by step how to fix it, yada, yada, yada. You can be valuable by being entertaining. There's a lot of people who are very successful at doing that. I mean, very good example, Pleasant Kenobi, for example. He makes people laugh. He makes people have fun. So the value proposition he gives is that he's very fun to be around, and he's very entertaining. You can be valuable by being a motivator. You can help motivate people to pick up Magic and to play a budget deck and just get into the game and to not be afraid and enjoy yourself. You can be valuable by creating a relationship with people. and I think, you know, maybe that's your core value that you can work on, is that if you are a down to earth person and, you know, you're not fake, or, you know, like those other YouTube, like I don't want to say other YouTubers, but
like that Nikachu
you know,
bloke, lucky now,
yeah,
fake
the
as fuck.
Nikachu bloke, so yeah, fake as fuck Nikachu. So like if we're a more down to earth person, you can maybe create a relationship between you and your viewership where they're like, hey, I like this guy, and I talk to him and he talks back at me, and we're having fun, and then we're talking to other people in the chat, and, you know, everyone's having a good time. And like, so if I were to say where, and I found out, like, I learned these things sort of later, but I found out that I was already nailing a lot of these at the same time. Turns out, like, even before I was really studying YouTube, that I was doing a lot of things right by accident, or I just happened to. So, I mean, I'm educational because I'm teaching how to play Magic the Gathering on the whole, but I'm also teaching you very specifically how to play Magic Modern Merfolk. I am entertaining because, you know, I still throw a bunch of jokes, and I'm like a very big animated character, so, you know, people enjoy me for that reason. I'm motivating because I can tell people you can win. I'm winning with Merfolk. You can win with Merfolk. Look, someone else just made a 5-0. Another person made a 5-0. Get in on this before it's too late. So I can also motivate people to take action and get in there and win tournaments, because we already have like two other people who won a GP with Merfolk. Largely, I think, one guy just asked me for my list. He was pretty pumped up to play something I was going to play. And another guy, I'm sure I had some influence just because I've helped boost the Merfolk community to take the game at a competitive level. And also I have a very strong relationship with my community. I've got like a private Discord that I spend with them, but even in public, I read every single comment on YouTube. Oh, sorry, not everyone. If you reply to a comment, it doesn't show up to the top of my feed. But if you make a fresh comment, I'll always see it. And I give a heart to, if I see your comment, I will give a heart to it, like 99.99% of the time.
If anyone ever commented on my stuff, I'm sure I would do that, but no one ever comments on my stuff. So
well, then you gotta take action to tell people, hey, what do you think of this? I want your opinion on this topic. Let me know in the comments section below.
I'm bad for that. And
it's also
stuff. I never say that. I never say like, tell me this on that in the comment. I always see other YouTubers do it. I never do it like, oh, wait, what do you think of this card? Let me know in the soon or who. In fact, I do put in like comments. I don't say it, but like, who do you want me to interview next? You know, that sort of stuff. But
yeah, so like it is good. It's good for two ways. First, if you ask for that engagement, first they will give it to you. And second, it's really good to hear the community feedback. Like, for example, with companions, I like companions. All right.
So do I.
I've been on record. I've been on record in all my videos. I like the companions. I like the gameplay. I don't think it's repetitive. The only repetitive gameplay is just like Loris into Mishra's Bauble. But aside from that, every other deck has stuff, very unique stuff to flash back anyway. So there's nothing super repetitive there. But judging by the comment section, and I do ask for their opinion, and also by Twitter polls and Facebook polls, people hate the companions. They absolutely loathe the damn thing.
Let's talk about these companion things while we're here. So I feel it's because people lose. When people lose, they call for bans straight away. Where I'm always on the side of Modern is such an adaptable format. We have every tool to deal with every scenario pretty much.
Yes, we do.
It's very rare we don't have a sideboard card that can deal with a matchup. The only companion that's weird with that is the Kraken. The 6/6 that makes the copies of Infinite Mills.
Gyruda. Yeah,
like Rest in Peace and stuff doesn't hit it. You literally have to have Cage or Bust. It's the only one. I suppose it could deal with Counter, I suppose, but then they play Cavern and they ramp it out. That's a weird one. But the Lewis, I'm just like, it makes long games of Magic. This is ideal. You know what I mean? All you need is a kill spell, and okay, now that Pokemon's gone. I always call them Pokemon as well, by the way. I don't call them companions. I call them Pokemon on my stream because they are just like Pokemon.
Why not?
You know what I mean? I've got
Choose your starting Pokemon.
Exactly. I got my companion. You got your companion. We throw them at the beginning of a match and we see who wins. But yeah, I'm on the side with you. Like, I think they're good for Modern. I think they name a card that's or a set of a mnemonic,
like mechanic.
Mechanic. Why can't I think of mechanic? A mechanic that's changed Modern that much. Like, there's so much. The meta is completely new, pretty much, apart from like things like Tron. But even Tron play companions now.
Maybe Delve when Treasure Cruise existed.
Oh my god, could you imagine that? That that card, it's the only card I ever bought for in foil when it was really cheap, and then it like spiked. I was like, yeah, I'll sell them, and then they're like, it's banned. I went, fuck. Like, but I've still got them somewhere. I think that someone wanted them for Pauper, but I never gave them to him. But that's a different story. So yeah, I'm on your side. I think companions are good. You think companions are good. Do you think that Lewis is, or I'm guessing Lewis is the main one that we're going to talk about here. Do you think Lewis is good in Merfolk?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. It's an extra card. It can help flashback a random Merfolk. The fact that if I can play Lurrus and then just get a random creature back, then it's basically paid for itself. And Merfolk, so Merfolk prides itself in being able to be is the fact that it's very threat dense. Like even the lands are threats, like Mutavault, and now we've got the Horizon lands that we can jam in. So Merfolk has an advantage in that we've got, things like Silvergill Adapt, and basically it's a threat dense deck. So if you want to beat it with just removal, it doesn't work. Like a lot of people think, oh, you just need a bunch of removal against Merfolk. Well, if that's true, then Jund and Death Shadow and all these other removal heavy decks wouldn't be fearing us. They are terrified. When they thought sees us and they see our hand has like Silvergill Adapt and Spreading Seas in hand, they're already shitting themselves. So we are a very threat dense deck, but if we don't play with Lurrus and we let other decks play with Lurrus, we might lose out on that card advantage battle. It's easy enough to jam Lurrus. It didn't change the deck that much. Like I don't play Mirror Regery, which is one lord, and I went up on like Coralhelm Commander, which is like a sort of a pseudo lord. But aside from that, the deck didn't change very much at all. We can't utilize Brazen Bar as much as we used to, but Ensnaring Bridge isn't really around in very big numbers.
No.
Karn the Great Creator is not around in very big numbers. So it was a easy enough splash to make.
And that's the Pokemon talk. Let's get on with the next plugin part. Okay.
Well, and I just want to get back to the content creation thing. My advice to the content creators, and I explained like many different ways that you can be of value to an audience. You may not have an audience right now, but you're gonna want to attract an audience. Stand for something. Stand of something for value, because if you don't stand for something, you stand for nothing. You need to stand for something to some audience. Find out who you want to be, what you're going to provide of value to that audience, and they will come. I made a YouTube channel about a game called Magic the Gathering in a format called Modern for an archetype called Modern Merfolk. Like, that's really narrow, but I made it for them. And I had an instant audience, and I grew it from there. And most of my viewers aren't Merfolk players anymore. They found out, well, okay, I like how this guy plays Merfolk, and he's like really good at judging the metagame and telling me what decks are big right now. They eventually found value in me where I didn't really expect it. Now I just have tons of viewers.
Well, because on that, on your YouTube channel, it's not just I've got a list of all the things that you can find on your YouTube channel. These are like the highlights, shall I say, of your YouTube channel. You're not just Merfolk. You've adapted it into, you have, like, so daily videos go up every day pretty much. You have Master Mondays where you get a master of the deck on. So, you've got Death Shadow on there, you've got Dredge, you've got Titan, you've got Tron, Drowsy Tron. You got like, and it basically, if someone's dedicated themselves like you have to Merfolk, and they've done themselves to one deck, you've got them on, and you interview them and see, get their insight to that deck. Just for the record, you haven't got anyone that does Infect, and I am a cheap Tom Ross. You also have Merfolk versus other decks. So you've got Merfolk, you play Merfolk against every other deck in the format. There's definitely a video on you playing against any other deck in Modern on that.
Yes.
You've got spoiler videos for when spoiler season comes out. You've got reaction videos. You've got metagame videos. And I need to scroll down one more that I can't. I've let out. No, I haven't. That was the 5. I narrowed it down to those 5. That's more stuff. Plus, there's more on your channel as well, which I didn't want to rattle off too much at once. But you've got so much content on there, I could not write it all down on a list.
Yeah, and something like when you're starting out with YouTube, like I started with something, but it's also okay. Like I had a very focused thing that I was doing, just Modern Merfolk gameplay videos. But it's okay to divert into or try something. Try this, try that. Let's try this over here and see just if it works. Because I learned like I had these rage deck tech videos. I call them drama deck techs, where I'm just really angry at like some new deck that's out, but I describe exactly what the deck does, and people love it, especially if they already play that deck, because it just apparently it really motivates people to like play the archetype if it's going to make like the other person really upset about it. And so I do this one thing, and it got like my first one got like 7,000 views. I'm like, holy crap! I mean, this is way above anything that I normally do. And then so I would say let the views guide you. You know, if you're doing something consistently and the views are very low, and then you try something new and the views are very high, maybe that's where your value proposition is, and you have to move where the you move where the value is to the people, because it's going to in some ways show up in viewership. Sometimes if you're like not good with naming or tagging or thumbnailing your video, it will just get buried in the YouTube algorithm anyway. But in general, if you have something of interest to people, it will have more views than the other things. And then so over time I can't remember like other things that I've tried. I've tried like playing a little bit of Cube where I force a mono blue deck. Views were very poor for that, so I don't really care for it anyway. But then I just like scrapped it. But it's okay to try things and then find out what has more views than anything else, and you should just go heavier on that. And then you start building up a following on the type of videos that were getting more views anyway. And then over time, you still experiment with other type of videos. And then all of a sudden, you're going to find out one video idea performs even more than the others. And then you start moving in that direction. Like these discussion videos that I do that are pulling in anywhere between 2,000 to 10,000 views, I'm making them on a regular basis because I made one where I'm just talking in front of my wall, and it did really well. So I'm going to make more of these videos if people like them.
So what you're saying is if this interview gets loads more views than any of my other videos, I just have to interview you every week. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to bring me back on a weekly basis. Something to that effect.
I'm fine with that. I can listen to your voice all day. It's great. I'm just sat here like
I can listen to yours as well.
Oh, look at you!
Read a phone. I can listen to you read a phone book all day.
Well, that's gonna happen. So I'm gonna call you and be like, page 22 on. Anyway, but next question.
So when that'll just finish off. If you got to be valuable for something, find out what that is, and then provide that to your viewership. Because if you're, especially in today's day and age, if you're like you said, if you're just even a top tier player and you're just playing the game and you're not saying anything, you're not being valuable, if that's not good enough today. You can be like the best player in the world. If you're just going to sit there, play the game, and people watch you play, no one's going to watch you because it's not valuable enough. They want to know the insights to what you're doing.
I don't know about everyone watching this or if anyone's watching this, but I'm learning so much right now. It's unreal. I'm like
there
taking
you go.
mental notes.
I'm all about being valuable. You know,
I'm going to be watching it back important. And going, right, I need to be. But this is quality content for me and anyone watching this. This is great. Okay, that's the advice you do. That's the one thing you wish. Okay, who do you love watching on YouTube or Twitch right now? Like who do you watch personally? Who do you go, oh, they've made a video up, or they're live? You know, who do you enjoy watching? Let's give me 3.
Well, that's good because I don't have any more than 3 to give you. So like Twitch, I like very rarely start watching Twitch. I just started watching Twitch recently because I'm going to become a Twitch. I'm going to get on Twitch, so I'm already analyzing what all the successful Twitch players, like what they do. One thing, if you want to be where other people are, what are they doing that you're not doing? And like I can very clearly already see like the most watched Twitch users, even for Magic, they have like no graphics, they have nothing. It's a really clean display, just like their webcam and the chat, and like barely anything else. And then people like way at the bottom, they've got all the graphics everywhere. And I thought that was a very interesting observation. Like I was actually told that through like another YouTube video where like the best streamers, it's very minimalistic. It's not distracting. So I was just trying to confirm if this was true, and it very much is. And so I'm analyzing them. But I would say like I don't watch much Twitch. But the person, if I watched anything, I guess sometimes Holy Diva.
Yep.
She's got a good personality. She's very passionate about just crushing people with these like glass cannon aggro decks. So like sometimes I'll tune in there, but still I'm rarely on Twitch. Now for YouTube, I would say I do watch on a regular basis Rudy from Alpha Investments. He's got a perspective on the game I have no touch in. I don't know anything with the supply chain or any other financial aspects, but I do think he provides me something that I cannot get from virtually anyone else. And
he's also entertaining, right? Like I find him entertaining. I think a lot of people I speak to about him as well. We call it Marmite in the UK. Do you have Marmite in Canada? It's like we like put it on toast. It's got a very unique taste.
It's like marmalade or something?
No, it's not like a jam. Marmalade's like a bit like a jam. So Marmite is
I don't know what it is.
It's like this brown tar liquid sort of thing, but we put it on toast normally, and you either love it or you hate it. There's no one that goes, it's all right. You either go, this shit is insane, or it's fucking disgusting. There's no middle ground, and that's what I find with Rudy. People either love his stuff or they think he's a dick, which is, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But like, I'm on the side. I think he's entertaining with what he does, and I can actually see. Now that you say that, I can see a lot of what he does in your videos, where you you walk in from the side and you're like, hey, and you've got all the background set up and stuff. Like, I like that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had a background thing, but when I moved, I couldn't have my background exist anymore because there was like a bed there. Anyway, so like my background didn't exist. I mean, one thing that I just adopt, like a lot of people just think I'm copying Rudy out of nowhere. But if you watch my videos for a long time, I've had this personality for forever. I've not changed my personality a bit. But one thing I learned from Rudy is that I was analyzing his videos. What does he do? He literally turns the camera on, starts talking, then he turns the camera off, and then I don't know, maybe he personally now edits the video at the end. I'm not too sure to get it down to exactly 10 minutes. But for the most part, he's got like generally no editing, nothing. He just talks and he's done. Because there were some videos that I were making that I was editing and I put in graphics and stuff. But like, as you know, as a content creator, this is a lot of work. This is becoming a little bit more work than I want to put in. So I decided, well, we're just going to keep scaling it down. And certainly my videos with graphics do a little bit better right now. But for the most part, the videos without the graphics do really well anyway. So I decided, okay, let's just make more of these videos because I don't want to because very important as a content creator, done is better than perfect. All right. Done is better than perfect, because if you wait for perfect, nothing gets done. Simple as that. And as a content creator, you have to get the stuff out. You have to get the stuff out. I do have like videos that are buried dead in folders. They're never going to see the light of day because my aspirations were just too high for them. So anyway, Rudy just so easily turns on the camera, turns it off, boom, throws it on YouTube with a silly title, and that's about it. And I had very good views with them, so that's what I did. And also to take a point on, people love him or hate him, you need to do that as a content creator. In some ways, you need to be polarizing. You really do need your audience to love you. And if, for example, you have this thing with fuck Tron, you might upset with Tron players, but fuck them. Who cares?
I actually have loads of Tron people that follow me. It's like they enjoy coming in to terrorize me.
You're telling it real. Yeah, you're telling it as it is. And I've told the Mox Opal people to go to hell. Like, I do not care about your Mox Opal deck. You're basically cheaters with this Mox Opal card. So now they're fair. And if they hate me, then they hate me. But the non-Mox Opal people, they love me. They're like, yes, finally someone's standing up against these stupid Mox Opal decks. So anyway, that's why stuff like Rudy works. You don't want to try to please everyone, because then you can end up pleasing nobody.
You can't do it. It's the internet.
If you do.
It's impossible. There's no one in the internet.
Exactly.
Everyone goes, I love that person. You know what I mean? It's just...
Yeah, exactly. Just focus on the people that love you. So the third person I would say I watch right now would be Tolarian Community College's. He has like interviews with Pleasant Kenobi, but he also has interviews with guests that he's bringing on. And
is this the professor, or am I just losing my mind?
This is the professor. That's right. That's the professor.
Did he change? Did he rebrand or something? Am I missing something here?
No, it's the professor.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that the colleges was his.
Oh, that's the actual YouTube channel name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's professor. Okay, sure.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I guess I'm talking about the channel, not the content creator. But he's bringing on guests, which is very valuable to me because I get an insight into all sorts of aspects and community of Magic that I'm not really in tune with, like either Commander and he's also bringing his reach is much larger than mine, so he gets a better idea of what the community is interested in, and he brings topics about that sort of stuff. So that's what I like the discussion. I overall like all the discussion that he has on these topics. So that's basically who I would watch. But I'm much more a producer of the content than the consumer.
When you say that, so obviously we're like modern players. Like we our main game is modern. Where if I speak to people, like I know I've got a lot of friends that own Magic card shops, like businesses, online businesses that sell Magic cards. And if you speak to them, they'll tell you it's the EDH players that keep them afloat. That's where stores make the money and Magic grows, because it's a casual game at the end of the day. You know, you sit down at the kitchen table, you play it with your friends. EDH is the best one for that. And if someone said to me about the professor, what sort of stuff he does, I'll say, well, mainly he does like EDH type stuff. You know, the fun kitchen table Magic. I don't necessarily want to watch him for, you know, to how to win a pro tour. You know what I mean? He's not going to tell me how to win my next like FNM with Magic Modern. But if you want to have interesting, fun decks and how to build these decks and what commanders are good and how to do this, and he's entertaining. He's got that whole, you know, the professor, the character, so to speak.
And he's a very warm, approachable personality.
I'm upset he cut his hair recently, didn't he? When I met him,
for I think charity or something.
I was going to say I was upset he did it, but I suppose if it's a charity, I can't say that. All right, so that's your free. Sweet. Where can people find you? So we've spoke about that you're going to be making a Twitch soon. If you've got a link for that, tell me and it'll be down below.
It's all NikachuMTG. So it's NikachuMTG. That's also a very important thing as a content creator. It's not a deal breaker, but my God, is it a lot easier if your name is consistent across all social media platforms? Because sometimes your name could be one thing on Twitch, and if they look it up on YouTube, you actually send them to a completely different person.
That's 100% true as well. That does happen all the time. So you know what I mean? So you got Nikachu in Twitch, Twitter.
NikachuMTG.
NikachuMTG. So you got YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and soon Twitch. Anything else I'm missing there?
And Instagram, even though I post something like once a month.
And Instagram. Okay, well, all those links are going to be below, so easy for you. Everyone just click below. They'll be there in one like nice packaged portion.
Yeah.
Nice, easy. Click on them, give them a follow. You probably already are if you're watching this. Let's be honest. More of your viewers are going to watch this than my viewers are going to watch this. You know,
hey, that's all. It's all good.
I'm stealing your clout. Is what I'm doing.
For all content creators. I mean, I would definitely advertise this to content creators because I mean, I take it seriously. I take it very seriously. Like anything in life, you have to study it. Some people are doing things. Some people are successful for a reason. And, you know, I always think, what are those successful people doing that I'm not? And I try to dig into those sort of things. So, like, I think for any aspiring content creator, I think they would have a really good start after, like, watching this interview.
Well, no one that ever quit something was successful, right? It's that I was saying. If you
that's right.
You keep going. If you quit, you're never going to be successful. You do something wrong, you just learn from it, and you keep carrying on. And
you're gonna have a lot of failures. I had a lot of failures.
Tell me, we were talking about the Chief one in before, where the sound was wrong and you had to redo it. Like it was always going to have hurdles, but as long as you learn from it, you're golden. Okay,
that's right.
That's where everyone can find you. So now we're going to get into some slightly different questions. And I don't know if you know this, which is going to make this even better. What does the EXP in my name stand for? The TheWillHallExp. What does the EXP bit stand for? And
does it actually stand for something?
It does stand for something. And I couldn't fit all the characters in when I was making my name on Twitch. So I had to shorten it to EXP. But I've had a few people in the past that have said what they think it is. And it makes me chuckle. So what do you think the EXP could stand for?
I'm assuming, has anyone got it right before?
People that know, or some people that like been with me for a while know it, but most people have got it wrong, and it always means I'm going to get my logo and I'm going to basically draw whatever you say on the end of it to make it. To give you examples, we've had explosion.
If everyone's gotten,
we've had exposed. What's the other one?
I'm sure.
Say again, sorry?
Experience.
That might be what it is.
Really?
Yeah, it's the TheWillHall experience.
What? It's like the obvious one, because like I think you're just you're adapting from, what's it called? Oh, what's that podcaster's name?
Oh God, don't tell me I'm copying.
The Joe Rogan experience.
Oh no, do you know what? I didn't, and I actually listen. Do you know I listen to Joe Rogan all the time, and I've never even thought that I've kind of stolen that.
Might have been subliminal, you know.
Maybe.
Truth be told, this is a very important thing for content creators. I get this question all the time. Like, can I do this thing that you've been doing, or can I like do this sort of thing that like I've seen from some other YouTuber? Steal whatever you want to steal. Like everything I do has in some way been adapted from something else that I saw. So just in my opinion, so long as you're not like stealing their intellectual property, just take whatever idea that they had and make it part of your own, and don't be afraid of, you know, if it looks like you're copying someone else. Do you know how many damn times people have asked me, "Oh, you're just acting like Rudy in your videos, Rudy from Alpha Investments." I get that like at least once a day now. I don't care. It's all
It's
good.
like a compliment as well, right? I wonder if Rudy gets, "Oh, you're acting like
yeah.
Nikachu."
They always say like I am the younger version of Nikachu that actually talks about Magic.
That's quite funny.
Rudy generally doesn't talk about the game, period.
He doesn't ever actually. No, he doesn't. It's always about opening or box openings and stuff. But
yeah, so yeah, I thought okay, so I was about to say like it can't be experienced because everyone has to have had said that by now.
No, that's actually it. It's pretty. The story behind it, I've said it before, but because you haven't, you don't know. I went to a team tournament, and you had to make a team name, but I didn't know that. So when my friend signed us up, he just randomly called our team of 3 the TheWillHallExp. And when results went up after each round, it just had our last names. It didn't have the team name. So we went through the whole tournament, and obviously we won the tournament. And then at the end, when they're reading out, you know, top 3, third was this, second was this, and they go first is the TheWillHallExp. And I was like, the fuck? And you know, and it just stuck from there. And I was like, what was a cool name? It was between that and the Stream Marine, and you know, I kind of use the Stream Marines as like little like logo type. You know,
I like the Stream Marine. You know, whatever.
Yeah, it might have worked better. I don't know, but it's there now.
Stream Marine. It rolls off the tongue. Whatever.
Yeah, it's like Nikachu, Stream Marine. Maybe I should rebrand. Are you telling me to rebrand? Because I'm basically gonna do anything you tell me right now. I can listen to your voice forever.
No, like whatever's easier, I would say. Like the most important thing with content creation is just do whatever is the easiest. If at least your name is consistent across all your social media platforms, I would stick with it.
It's quite easy. No one steals it.
Like 4 different ones, screw it. But I will say I tried to look up your YouTube channel because I put in WillHallExp, and your YouTube channel doesn't pop up. That's a problem.
How do I change that?
You might have to put in your tags for your channel to find up any combination of like WillHall experience or the WillHall or all those things in the background. So I don't know how problematic that is, but
you're gonna have to show me once we come off this interview.
We'll
message each other because
we'll talk. But
I'm terrible at the whole hashtags.
It's hard to find you on any of the social media platforms, then the name might not be good. You gotta find, you know, NikachuMTG. There's actually another fucking Nikachu on YouTube now. He's skyrocketing in like subscribers, so he's getting higher than me. But in general, I was the only Nikachu on YouTube for forever. He's like a Animal Crossing's Pokemon player. So there's 2 fucking Nikachus now. But like in general, I was the only Nikachu. So if you just look up Nikachu, you just find me. It's not too hard.
Well, yeah, that is
anyone who looks for him is gonna find me.
I need to. This is a genuine thing. I will mess you because I'm so bad at working out what tags I need to put and where, and what do you put to what video. You know, all this sort of, when you upload a video, you do the description, and then you've got to do hashtags. And is it for kids or not? And then what game is it? These sort of things. I think I'm doing right, but clearly I'm not doing right. If you can't find me with TheWillHallExp. So we'll work that out later.
I have to put exactly the TheWillHallExp. That's a bit too narrow.
So maybe
it'd be bad if people put in Nikachu and then didn't find NikachuMTG.
Then they go find this other Pokemon player, and now they're all and they're like, these aren't Mofolk, these are Squirtles. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, next question. You're playing a team constructed tournament, Modern, Standard, and Legacy. What seat are you sat in, and who, out of any player in the world, is sitting in Standard, Legacy, and Modern? You've got two people. This is your team. You can pick it your dream team for team constructed. Who is it, and what seats are they in?
So I'm definitely playing Modern, and I can pick anybody.
Anyone. Go crazy. Dream team.
I sort of just want to pick my friends. If I'm in a team, it's a weird spot. I need to figure out competitive friends, but I can't remember who's actually good at Legacy. Because if you're gonna go out to this tournament, like you can't go by yourself. Okay, also I'm gonna give two answers. So of my personal friends, I'm gonna have Mark Coco Clusa in Legacy, and I'd also have Philip Roman, who's also a close buddy in Manitoba, who would play Standard. He's very good at Standard. If I were to have a super dream, like I could pull like anybody, I would have this show and tell master. I can't remember his name. PJP something. Someone help me in the comment section right now.
It will come up on the screen now.
Yeah, exactly. He's edited in already, because this guy apparently is just undefeated constantly in Legacy. And for Standard, I guess Brad Nelson. I think he's been more or less the tried and true master of Standard. Has more or less the most consistent results ever in Standard.
I think I would have Brad Nelson. Brad Nelson's also. I feel like I get on well with Brad Nelson. Like, I've met him a few times and stuff, and he's always been super nice to me. Obviously, I'm just a random nobody that he has no idea who he is, but he's always been like really sound when I meet him. And yeah, I'd have Brad Nelson. I think he's quite cool. So that's your dream team. That's what seats are in, and I've obviously made some cool graphic that was picking up on the screen by now, and I hope you all like it. Okay, so you can unban one card in Modern. What is it?
Ooh. Well, just process of elimination, so I don't destroy Modern. Either.
Fuck it, you can destroy Modern. Just make Merfolk fucking whatever you want it to be. Go crazy. You've got one card to unban.
None of the card. I don't know if any of the cards make Merfolk good. Potentially, Splinter Twin would make Merfolk good. Potentially, but I'm not sure. The safest thing would be Umezawa's Jite. This would just do nothing. Hopefully, it would just destroy my enemies. I can't think of a card that would be good for Merfolk. Like something because there's nothing on the banned list that would help Merfolk to take it off. But maybe I can give my enemies to destroy my other enemies.
You're doing guerrilla warfare here. You're using other weapons against your enemies. I like it. I like how you think that's smart.
Absolutely.
See what I mean? You're coming at it from a different angle. You're not coming at it what makes my deck better. You're coming at it from, well, how can I ruin all the other decks that are good against me? I like it. So Jite is the card you're going to unban.
The one good thing about Plague Engineer getting printed is it wiped out Humans at the time. Like, well, Humans just disappeared. I'm like, well, this is great, because Humans was just a faster Merfolk deck when we go head to head.
That is true, but the Humans is actually seeing an uptick now because it's really good against the Lurus decks. It's like,
yeah, I guess so.
It's because it's like, oh, cool, yeah, I'll name Bauble or name Lurus or something. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, so that's what you unban. And it's good. That's a different answer to most people. Most people are unbanning cards for themselves, not for other people. I like it. Okay, we've got to the part now where I need to ask you quick fire questions. I'm going to give you two choices. You're going to tell me the first one that comes off the tongue. Okay? Happy?
How fast do I need to be?
Woof. Less than a second.
Modern.
That's not the question. It will be in a second.
Next. Oh, damn it.
first question.
Have a different order for these things.
it kind of is the first question. What's your favorite format?
Modern.
What's your favorite color or wedge in Magic?
Blue.
Easy. Who's your favorite Pokemon?
Oh, Sandshrew. Because this was the reason I took Pokemon Blue over Pokemon Red. I like Sandshrew. I thought it was a really cute Pokemon, and frankly, the Red version didn't do anything for me, so I took Sandshrew.
See, I was a Pokemon Yellow guy.
I took Blue specifically for Sandshrew.
See, I should probably put that in. Are you a Pokemon Blue, Red, or Yellow? I was always Yellow.
I never thought of it. I chose Pokemon Blue. Amazing. I never tried Yellow because
there you go. Next video. Red boom. And Blue. At a young age, I knew I was destined to come into Merfolk and Blue.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, I never made that connection in my life. That's amazing.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Marvel or DC?
I was a Pepsi fan. I was a Pepsi fan up to like 22 years of my life, and after that, I switched, and I never looked back.
Any reason for the switch, or just?
Do you know what? I can't remember. Maybe I really don't know what happened, but I tried Coke, and I'm like, you know what? This is just better. Fuck it. I'm not drinking Pepsi anymore.
All right, Coke. Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Cat or dog?
They're both good. Oh, cat.
Who's better, you or Yamakiller?
Me.
I'm glad we've got back to people actually saying themselves now. Okay, last little bit is
I'm full of myself. I'm not going to say other people are better than me.
What's so that the next bit is finish this sentence. Okay, so I'm going to start the sentence. You're going to finish it. Nice and easy.
Sure.
I'm going to win.
Versus stream snipers.
I like it. Everyone should follow you because
I am the MTG master.
a shout out to rate this interview a
10 to the power of 10.
10 to the power of 10. Cool. Nice little title for that. And that's that. So, do you know about the thumbnails? Do you know about the saffron olive?
This is a bit awkward and weird, but whatever.
It's don't ask. It's that's kind of my thing.
It's your tradition, sure.
You know, I like weird and awkward, and it just tends to be really fucking funny. Everyone loves
That's why
it.
It's the Will Hall experience.
It is the Will experience indeed. So, for people that don't know, basically there's a saffron olive emote that my friend Squad Chief has. It will be below me right now, and that is the thumbnail for every video in my interview series. I get the guest to somehow reenact that emote. I'm going to screenshot it, and that's going to be the emote that you all clicked onto, or the thumbnail you clicked onto to watch this video. I don't need to describe to you how it is, because you've seen what it is. It is basically saffron olive looking like he has an orgasm. Why not? So his head's back, his mouth's open, and
this deck was building up to that moment.
It's
then,
like
boom.
It's like the peak point is this fucking thumbnail, and I love doing them because I don't get embarrassed, and everyone else seems to get embarrassed. So it's but I get more comments about the thumbnails. I think more people click because of the thumbnails. So it's doing its job. You know what I mean? Like it's a good part. So I have my finger on the print screen button, my friend. If you would give us the Nikachuism, that would be great, and it'd go down well.
Okay, let's see how well I can do this.
Okay, that's good. Let's print this out.
I hope that looks. I should have practiced it. I had I had so much time to practice my saffron olive O face.
Wait, I've been practicing it myself for many years, so on and off stream. Who will tell? But that looks good to me. I'll make sure I'll send that you in a second when we finish, because everyone likes to see them before I post them for some reason. Maybe it's because they don't want to get embarrassed.
Is this okay?
Are you okay with this intimate picture of you on the internet? But it's all good. But that's the end of the interview. Thank you very much for jumping in, bro. As I say, it's like an honor for me to get someone as big as you on here helping me out, and I've learned so much today.
I don't even consider myself that big. You know, I'm looking at all these YouTubers with like half a million subscribers, 2 million subscribers. Like everyone's like still pretty small in the grand scheme of things in the MTG world.
Yeah, I mean, MTG is not as big as other esports, not yet anyway. And you know what I mean? To me, you're a big YouTuber to me. You know what I mean? So always look at your
everyone
peers
needs an idol.
And so, of course, don't deny it. Take it all in. Suck it all in. I'll have some like thing of me, like, I don't know, kissing your ass or something. I don't know. It'll be what it is. But cheers, as I say, cheers for jumping in. I've learnt loads. I'm hoping everyone that's watched this learnt loads. If you like it, make sure you click and follow myself. Click and follow Nikachu. You probably already are. As I say, most of you probably come from his channel anyway. I'll have another interview next week or the week after, and probably next week, because we've got to be consistent. We've just spoke about this. Next week we'll have another interview. Anything, you've got 30 seconds. Anything else you want to say to the rest of the world before we sign off?
Thank you very much for just having me. I thought it was great, and I hope everyone found this video very insightful. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, I have personally. So, well, thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. Thanks, viewers. I love the viewers.
You do love viewers. We all love viewers. All content creators are all just self-obsessed ego freaks, and we need that little ego boost. But thanks, everyone. Cheers.
I eat those views and likes for breakfast.
That's going to cue to a lovely picture of you eating your breakfast with viewers right now. And yeah, I'll see you later on. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for jumping in. And bye-bye. See you later.